How's it going, brothers and sisters? This is Brother Jernigan. How you doing? Hey, so I want to kind of talk to you about something that, of course, there were no answers for. There was never any answers. So it's just, it's phenomenal how many of these unanswerable questions I had. Next up is the 666. It's everywhere, right? There's all kinds of symbolism behind 666. It comes from Revelation chapter 13. So I didn't buy the explanation. I didn't enjoy the explanation. I didn't appreciate the explanation that I was given. Briefly, I think I can kind of remember the 666 was supposed to be just this symbol for the government. The mark on your hand represented your actions that were in conjunction with the authority of the government, and the mark on your forehead was your, I believe, your attitude or your mental attitude. Either way, to me, it just didn't really jibe. It just didn't resonate. It was like, is that really your answer? So, I did more research. Even if you read Revelation chapter 13, right, when it talks about this mark, it says it's something that we need to be prepared for. Again, the scriptures are written so that we might be prepared, so that we might have what we need for some future event. Now, the thing about Revelation, right, is it was a prophecy. It's our prophecy. Now, their position, the organization, the Jehovah's Witnesses, their position is this has already happened. It's not something that you need to focus on. It's not something that you need to worry about. It's just going to go away. It has something to do with the government. Don't salute the flags, and don't put your hand on your heart when they're singing the national anthem, and you're fine. Don't when they said that whoever didn't take the mark couldn't buy or sell. Of course, this was referring to 1914 when the brothers got locked up. Just misdirection, and it just seemed like they were hiding something, and that's the way I felt. And when I went to the elders for an explanation, and I just kept on digging, it kind of felt like Aaron Brockovich. They would get visibly upset. They would get annoyed with me. They would call me names. One of the circuit overseers suggested that I need medication. Seriously. Just because I didn't take the party line. I wouldn't accept their explanation. So, I don't know if you guys think that it deems me insane, or because I have questions about this, that it just wasn't properly explained or wasn't thoroughly explained, and so that's why that's part of the reason why I got this fellowship. But I'm not on here to whine and cry about that. All I'm saying, I believe there is a very real threat. I think there's a very real danger that practicing witnesses are in, because if the Bible is sent to warn us and to so that we might benefit from what is coming, if it is a prophecy, right, if you get your timing off, well, then that's going to mess you up pretty bad. Because if you're not supposed to take this mark, because let's go back to the mark, right? Whoever takes this mark, right, you're doomed forever. They're not written in the book of life, right? If you take the mark, then you're absolutely doomed, okay, according to Revelation chapter 13. Well, if you mislead your flocks and you tell your flocks, oh, this is nothing to worry about, it's just some symbolic figure, which doesn't make any sense, some symbolic thing that happened 100 years ago that you don't have to worry about. Well, why would God use such definite language when he is warning us about this, right? If like I used to just believe everything they said until I started to look at some of this stuff. And this was like this is like the biggest thing was the 666. Because when they said what they said, so when you read it, it says that the wild beast that ascends out of the abyss, right, that conquers and kills the two witnesses, which two witnesses is that's another video, right? It says that it causes all men on earth, great and small, rich or poor, to take this mark, and unless you had the mark, you were unable to buy and sell. And it says that the beast would even seek to kill the ones who didn't take the mark, I believe. Go back and read Revelation chapter 13. Okay. So they say all this happened 100 years ago between 1914 and 1920, right? 1922, right? And at this point, all we're waiting for is the cry of peace and security. I just don't buy it. I don't know if you guys buy it, but I don't buy it. Okay, especially when you look right. Look at Google. If you have a PC, okay. If you can see the little icon, the little Google icon, it's blue, green, red, and yellow. Okay. If you look at it, it's like a little circle, and it's got if you look at the symbol, it's got a 666 in there. If you know anything about the Hadron Collider, CERN technology, they have a 666 in their logo. It just seems like the 666 is in vogue. There's all kinds of interesting research on the 666 on the internet. So I just don't think it's something. I just don't think that Jehovah's Witnesses have the proper understanding. I don't think they understand, and so they're misleading their flocks currently. That's what I currently believe. So I would really love some discussion with you guys on this topic, okay? Because I believe it's something that's still in the future, something that hasn't happened yet, but something that's going to happen, and it's something that God warned us about. But if we take God's warning and we just throw it on the shelf and we say, oh, that's already taken care of, which when I make my video about the two witnesses, I guess they're hand in hand. They kind of go hand in hand with the two witnesses. The explanation and I lost so many Bible studies because people would ask me, what is this? And I would tell them the party line. I would tell them what the brothers say, and people wouldn't buy it, and I would lose Bible studies. And I always thought, well, hey, they're goats, they didn't want Jehovah anyway, so blah, blah, blah. But no, it was an unanswered question. And, when you're trying to establish a relationship with a potential long-term Bible study, maybe even a convert, if you basically dismiss them when they bring up a valid point, well, that doesn't sit well with anybody. It didn't sit well with me, so I can't blame those Bible studies that I lost, okay, because it didn't sit well. It wasn't a good explanation. It was a dismissal, okay. So rather than dismissing the 666, let's actually delve into not only prophecy, not only scripture, but let's also look at the internet. Let's look at our contemporary research and see, hey, what exactly is this? Because it's definitely something that is still contemporary. It's definitely still something that is available as far as what is currently happening in the world. Okay. And I think that, honestly, what do I think it is? I think it truly is like a chip or a mark or some sort of external initiation, something that you have to, something that the government is going to make you do, or if you watch Hunger Games, right? Or I believe it's Hunger Games, or Insurgent or Divergent, these movies, right, where you have people taking chips and you have them acting like zombies and you have them, they lose their free will. What do you have going on right now? You do have ingestible chips. You do have tech tattoos, and you do have all this mark of the beast technology that's going on. Okay, so I just don't think it's wise to dismiss something that's written in the scriptures as a perhaps a very important warning. Because after all, you don't want to lose your everlasting life, do you? You know, but again, if you're focusing only on man and instead of on scripture, well, hey, maybe it's not so bad to lose your everlasting life. I don't know. But anyways, guys, what do you think about it? It's my 10 minutes. Nice to see you guys again.